Thank you, Lynette, for joining us on this evening. Thank you, Nene, for joining us on this evening. Pam Hill, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining Aretha, Angela Halls, Henry, Yvette Pridgeon, thank you for joining us. I see class of 1988 has joined us on tonight with our special guest, Jack Hawes. And y'all know how he and I go at it during football season. We don't like each other during football season. Other than that, we're really good friends, believe it or not. So thank you so much. We have a new sponsor tonight. Our new sponsor is Cumberland County Christian School, Fayetteville, North Carolina. They are our new sponsor on tonight, Cumberland County Christian School. A big shout out to Mr. James and Dr. Jessica Respus for sponsoring Respus Live. A big shout out to our new sponsor on tonight. Tonight, our subject, of course, we're still talking about you have to see it before you see it. Again, you have to see it before you see it. And our subtitle tonight is, Don't You Dare Give Up. Don't you dare give up. Giving up, quitting is not an option. Doesn't matter how hard it seems, how difficult it looks. Doesn't matter how many times you get up and fall back down. The key is you got to keep moving forward. You cannot give up. I'm reminded of a fight against George Foreman and Muhammad Ali. It goes on to say the rumble in the jungle is what it was kind of called. And Foreman was predicted to win this fight. And so Muhammad Ali came up with a strategy. Thank you, Mimi, for joining, and Sabrina Richardson and Sabrina Wooten. Thank you for joining. So Muhammad Ali came up with this strategy, and it's called rope-a-dope. And so Foreman was beating, was hitting him, and Muhammad Ali was taking those punches, and he was just sitting on the rope. And it appeared that he was losing, and it didn't look good for Muhammad Ali. And George Foreman just kept pounding. And sometimes in life, everything that we decide to do may not be easy. And sometimes life pounds us and it hits us and we're against the rope. But although we're against the rope, it doesn't mean that we're going to quit, that we're going to give up. Because giving up is not an option. So don't you quit. And I don't care how hard it is or how difficult it is. If you fall down, you get back up again. And if you fall down, you get back up again. You can't quit because it's not an option. You can't give up on your dreams. You can't give up on your destiny. You can't give up on your visions. You got to keep moving forward. And sometimes we're on that rope and life is beating the devil out of us. And every time we take one step forward, Jack, we end up 3 or 4 or 5 steps backwards. But we can't give up, because when you have a dream, when you have a vision, when it is placed inside of you, and you know for a fact, you know in your knower that this is what you're supposed to do, quitting and giving up is not an option. It cannot be an option for us. So again, we're asking that you don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on anything that you know that you were supposed to be doing. Don't you dare give up. Keep going, keep moving, keep pressing your way. And Muhammad Ali stayed on that rope, and and George Foreman was bailing on him, and he was just bailing on him, Jack. And it appeared that Muhammad Ali was going to lose. Sometimes in life, it appears that we're losing. Sometimes it appears like, okay, we might as well throw in the towel because this is over. I don't know who started that, and they said it's not over until the fat lady sing. I don't agree with that. And I definitely don't agree with it's being over. So I don't know who started that. It is not over. As long as there's breath in your body, as long as your mind is right and you know that this is what you're supposed to do, I want you to keep pressing your way. Don't you dare give up. I don't care how difficult it is. I don't care how it seems impossible. If you know that's what you're supposed to be doing, you take one step and then you take another step. And if you fall down, you get back up again. Don't you dare stay in that mud, like I said on the last show. Just stay in the mud. You get back up and you try it again. So there's a saying or quote by Confucius, and it says, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you don't stop. Doesn't matter how slow you're going as long as you don't stop. That's what Confucius say. So it doesn't matter if someone's ahead of you. Because remember, the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but he that endureth unto the end. So it doesn't matter, Jack, if somebody's in front of you. You can't pay attention to that. You can't pay attention to those that are beside you. You got to keep moving forward into what you're supposed to be doing and to what you've been called to do. So it's not given to the swift. It's not given to the strong, but it's given to those that will endure unto the end. So I challenge you tonight to never, ever give up. It is not an option. It is not something that you should do. Tonight, again, our guest is Jack Hawes, a dear friend of mine, except during football season.
That's
And during
right.
football season, I can't stand him. And Jack is a mortician, and he's the owner of Hawes Funeral Home. He and his wife out of Warsaw, North Carolina. So if you would, Respus Live viewers, we're going to welcome Jack Hawes on the show tonight. Welcome, Jack, and thank you so
Hey,
much for
hey.
coming.
Glad to be here.
I know it would have been better if we would have won last night. It would have, the introduction would have been a little different. But since we didn't, I guess I'll have to get some mud in my face today. But it's okay. I'm ready for you.
It was a good day yesterday.
I bet it was.
Panthers, Panther fans.
Oh, whatever. So tell me, Jack, was there ever a time when you started Jack Hall's Funeral Home? Was there ever a time where you felt like giving up?
Yes, there was a time I felt like giving up. And when everything seems like it's going good, and then you get these obstacles in the way, you find a way around it. You keep praying about it. And you just keep pressing. But there wasn't a time about 2 years ago that I really felt like giving up, when I felt like everything was falling in. A lot of people did not know that I actually operated. When I say I mean me and my wife and I actually operated a funeral service for 2 years without a building. And they were like, well, how in the world you do that? We did it. And it was hard. It was a very, very hard thing to do. But the Lord put certain people in place that told me what I needed to do, and left it as that. And we just kept, and because of the work we do, how we work in the community, people still, they trusted us, and we just kept pressing on. It was hard. It was very, very hard.
So you were able to start a business and run a business without a facility.
Without a facility.
Wow, that is impressive.
Yes. I had a facility at first, and then things happened, and things happened out of our control, that we had to leave that facility, and that's when I was just looking for something else to do, basically. It even had my mind made up that I was going to move, but a guy came to me, and he said, hey, you can, there's a way you can do this without a facility. And I'm looking at him like, what in the world are you talking about? There's no way in the world you can do this without a facility.
Yes.
And then, I just pushed it to the side, and lo and behold, another guy came to me again, a different guy, told me the exact same thing. And I met one of the inspectors, and he inspected me that night with all my paperwork and everything, and he gave me a permit to start operating without a facility. And we did that for 2 years. And a lot of people wondering, how in the world, people that was in the funeral business,
Absolutely.
how in the world were you doing that? I mean, I'm telling you, can't tell everything.
Exactly.
But we did it.
Yeah, that is amazing. So instead of giving up and quitting like you wanted to,
that's right,
there were people that was placed in position to be a blessing to you and push you through those steps. So tell me, in those 2 years, were you discouraged, and did you feel like giving up again, even though you were operating outside of a building?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. I mean, it was the very first day that the inspector gave me our permit to operate. We got a phone call, and I went straight to work. And when we was in the facility, we were still doing about the same amount of funerals without a facility as we were with a facility.
That is amazing.
And now that we have just got into our newer location, we've been blessed even more. And I always tell people that I've been truly blessed whenever I went into a town and nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew who I was, where I came from. But I gained the trust and respect of the people that was there. And but always, my wife and I worked together and kept the Lord first, and we just keep right on pressing on. Now it's still hard now, but
Of
we keep
course,
on pressing
of
on.
course. But you made a decision not to quit.
We made a decision not to quit.
Absolutely. You made a decision as a family not to quit.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what sparked your interest in being a mortician and a funeral director?
Used to be terrified of a funeral home. Wouldn't step foot in one. My mom died in 2000, November 2000, and I went to see Mr. Dunn, who funeralized my mom, and talked with him. And 6 months later, I was in mortuary school, and I was fortunate enough that he actually gave me a job while I was in mortuary school, and so that's what really started. And being in the funeral industry is what helps me deal with her death to this day. Knowing that I can help someone feel a little at ease. That's a hard time to go through, but just feel a little at ease helps me deal with
her death.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, that part actually propelled you into this business, for lack of better terminology.
Yes, totally.
Wow.
Totally. Because I tell everybody what I wanted to be.
What did you want to be?
I wanted to be a state trooper.
Really?
All the time. My mom used to hate that. I went to the military. I went to the Air Force, got out, and went straight, signed up to be a state trooper. And they told me I was too short.
I'm not going to mess with that. It is very tempting. It is very tempting.
At the time, they had a height requirement.
I understand. I remember.
Yeah.
They had a lot of requirements back then.
And I was an inch. At that time, I don't think there was very many women that was on the force.
Right.
And a lot of things has changed since then. But yeah, I always joke about that when I see a young man that's a state trooper now. When I had my very first job at Scats and Burgaw.
Shout out to Burgaw.
Yeah, he used to be my manager.
Oh, okay.
And he's a state trooper. He's shorter than me. So I'm like, well, but they let you be one.
Okay. So in other words, like maybe right before the 2 years of not having a facility, you felt like possibly Ali on that rope, just being beat. What was it in you and your wife to keep moving forward? Because at that time, giving up looked good because all the stakes were against you. Everything that could possibly go wrong had already gone wrong.
That's right.
You didn't have a building. How are you going to run a funeral home without a building? To me, that is just amazing.
Yeah. So
with everything lined up, what was it inside of you that pushed you to keep moving forward when you wanted to give up?
It's just, I guess, because I love what I do so much. I really do. I love what I do so much, and you know, my wife, you know, she stands behind me in the dream that I have. So, you know, she was right there, but you know, it's just that I just continue to pray about it and just steady move forward. I just try to keep moving forward. And I looked at a lot of people were really depending on me to help them through that situation.
Yeah.
And I felt like if I just gave up, moved away, then things would have went back to where it normally. I had a lot of, you know, and it's sad to say that, and it's in every industry, I believe that we don't help each other as much as they used to in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was a lot said about me. Nobody really knew I didn't have a facility.
Exactly.
It was other businesses putting it out there that I didn't have a facility, but it didn't matter.
No, because people trusted you.
Yeah, the family, you know, they didn't matter to them as long as I handled what they wanted me to handle. Yeah.
That is amazing that you operated 2 years without a building. That is amazing. Was there ever a time where you had to make sacrifices so that your business would move forward?
Lot of sacrifices. Yeah, a lot of sacrifices. I mean, it's times that we wanted to have trips, that we wanted to take vacation, everything. It just, you know, had to be put on a back burner. I mean, even to my wife and I went over 25 years of being married. So, you know, everybody have their silver anniversary party. Well, we skipped that because we were working. We were working very hard at the time. So we'll still have it. It'd just be 25 plus.
So you gave up a lot of things that you would normally would have done to celebrate your wedding and things of that nature for your business.
Yeah.
And those are things that have to happen in order for you to move forward. But I'm still amazed that you were able to operate just as if everything was going smooth. And that just speaks about your reputation and how you take care of, your clients, for lack of better terminology. So it is indeed good to know that you have a spouse that supports you and that pushes you. So I know that helped you as well as to not give up.
Yes.
Having that support system at home, someone that believes in you. And I know for me to have people pushing me, that keeps me moving forward and not giving up. So her role in your life has been tremendous as far as helping you in this business.
When I'm like you say, when I'm sleepy, she'll drive. Because I'm on the road a lot. And I thought after getting a new facility, I can, sit back a little bit, but I'm still busy quite a bit. But my office was my vehicle, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, basically. So we did a lot of traveling, and I also worked for other funeral homes as well.
So you had your own business and you were still working for other funeral homes.
I'm still doing embalming for other funeral homes.
Just making it work.
Making it work.
So you wouldn't quit no matter what, even if you had to go help someone else. If you had to give up on your anniversary dates and some vacations, you
tired, but still rode.
So how long have you been in the business now?
19 years.
19 years. That's amazing, Jack. I'm
19
very,
years.
very proud of you, although I don't like you
The
much.
longest job I ever had.
Although I don't like you very much, I am extremely proud of you. In the class of 1988 Independent High School, we're extremely proud of you and what you're doing. I can't even imagine. It's not like you have an easy job, because when you roll up at someone's house, unfortunately, it's not a good time.
It's not a good time.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what do you think those skills come from, where you can actually comfort people? I know you said it all started with the unfortunate death of your mom, but do you take that same feeling and when you go to people's houses, you want to make sure they feel as comfortable as possible?
That's right. My job is to make sure they understand what's going on. Because at the time of death, there's, you got 5 stages of death, and that first stage is shock. And that shock, it can take a day or two to come off, or it can take a couple of weeks, even months. But my job is to make sure in a short period of time, they got to make a big decision in a short period of time and make sure they understand what type of decision they're making. And the main thing I tell everybody, we want to do the very best for our loved one. But we got to remember, we got to live tomorrow. So only do what you're comfortable with. And I also I try to tell them, hey, I understand. I've been in your shoes. So anytime you have a question, you can call me. And, I talk to a lot of people even after the service. So I stay in contact with a lot of people.
So it's just not a job. It's also a ministry for you.
Yeah. And it really, I really surprised myself when my favorite part of being a mortician is actually the embalming part. And to actually, and in that, I give everybody say how well everybody looks when I, finish dressing them and getting them prepared. But I credit that totally to the Lord, because I remember a little girl, and I prayed. My aunt and I prayed before I, had to do the embalming process. So, and after that, it seemed like it was something else that took over and just guided my hands. So every time before I embalm, before I touch the person, I say that same prayer. Dear Lord, please guide my hands, so it be pleasing unto your sight as to the family. And I'm good. And I can go to work then.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So you always, I always feel like you just got to keep the Lord first. Sometimes we get running around and, you always got to remember, always give the Lord thanks about whatever you do.
That is so true. How do you balance compassion for the family and maintain the business section as well, or the business aspect of it?
Now that is hard, and yeah,
Yeah.
that is hard because because you feel for families, you feel for families that is can't do a lot of financially,
Right.
but as a business, you have to collect in order to stay in business. So it's I try to do it as one family at a time.
So you do it per basis.
Per basis, yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I
Each
listen
family
to.
is unique, and
That's right.
Great. That's
Yeah,
good.
you listen to what they're saying to you. You listen, and you just try to find out a way that you can help them.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate that I've made a lot of friends in different areas of the funeral business. So whenever I need a favor,
Mm-hmm.
they're willing to help because they know I help them.
Right.
So, I really try my best to, help people out in their most difficult time.
That is
Yeah.
good. That is good, because it is a very difficult time for families to go through something as tragic. Do you feel like you'll expand in the future, or you're pretty?
I really do want to expand. It's very hard
Mm-hmm.
being right now. I am the only funeral director in the business, right? In our business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping in the future that I can hire another one.
That's what you're saying.
But right now it's pretty hard. I am people that have asked me, could I expand, more towards the Wallace area and even Wilmington. But
Mm-hmm.
right now I got to concentrate on Warsaw first,
Yeah.
and then I'll start expanding out.
Expanding. That's good.
Mhm.
So you still have your dreams and your visions as far as moving forward, but you want to make sure right now you're doing the best that you can do where you are, and it is so important for us not to take too much on our plate and not be efficient with what we're doing at this point.
Yeah.
As we move forward to greater things. So tell me, how can you encourage someone that's watching, because I think it's important, that want to start their own business, and the odds are stacked against them. They find themselves up against a rope like Muhammad Ali was. How can you encourage someone to not to give up when the odds are stacked against them?
Well, for one, you don't always have to be in a certain place that you want to be in. You may have to move outside of this area. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I got a friend that wanted to have a place here, but he moved away. And he started probably about a year or two before I did. He's already opened his second location.
Wow.
So it was better that he moved away. That was better for him. Now, on the business side, I always tell people, because I got a degree in business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always looking at everything in business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also the chairman of our trustee board at our church.
Oh my God.
And
Who voted
chairman
you
of
in
the
that
trustee
position?
board, and I always get on there and say we got to always look at the return on investment. Or if someone wants to move in a certain location, make sure they do their homework. Do the everybody that's in business, what a SWOT analysis is.
Yeah.
If you don't know, I'm gonna tell you.
I know that's
Your
real.
strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
That's right.
You got to find out what they are.
Yep.
And that will help you determine, is that the right place for you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, and even people that has not been to business school or whatever, people that's been in business, you still always do that SWOT analysis, and that will help you a lot.
So your first suggestion was it may be an issue, or you may have to relocate.
Yes.
So be open to
open to move somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
and always be open to move. You mainly want to look for the location that's best for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just because you're you grew up in Pender County, it don't mean Pender County is the best.
Right, because you grew up in
Atkinson, in Pender County.
Yes, Atkinson, but you end up in Warsaw.
In Warsaw.
How did that
Never
happen?
thought I'd never been in
How
Warsaw.
did that happen?
Can't even know how that happened. But ended up in Warsaw.
Yeah.
And I love it there.
Mm-hmm.
It's quiet, ain't no traffic. And as our little logo for Warsaw says, our little slogan, we're an hour away from everything.
An hour away from everything.
Yeah, so we can come to Wilmington, Raleigh, Fayetteville, Goldsboro. We can get in anywhere within an hour.
Within an hour in any of those locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it is growing. There are some businesses there now. I remember going through when I was a little girl. I didn't see a lot, but now I do see some businesses and hotels. So
yeah, it's growing quite a bit. I meet mostly everybody at exit 364. Mm-hmm. That's the Warsaw exit. I meet everybody. I'm gonna start a hashtag exit 364. So when I see everybody, I'm gonna take a picture and put it up. 364.
Yeah, but, because that is a good place to stop, especially if you're coming down 40. That's a good place to stop before we get to the house.
That's right, before you get to the house.
Yeah,
that's the midway. So that's where I mostly meet everybody that's traveling.
It is amazing because I swung into Smithfields and I went in there and I saw a few people from Pender County in there eating.
All the time.
But I was like, that's a good place to eat before we get home. So
yeah, all the time.
So tell me now.
And while we're on Warsaw, can I announce something?
Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
All right. Since we're on Warsaw, I want to make sure that I announce and Respus Live be the very first to know that I am running for town commissioner of Warsaw.
Yeah.
So we're asking Warsaw Town to please come out and vote for Jackie Hawes, or Jack. That's what everybody know me as, Jack Hawes, for Warsaw Town Commission. So November the 3rd.
Warsaw Town Commission is what your office
running
you're running for. Yes.
That's right.
Okay. So this is hot off the press, live on Respus Live, that you're actually running for a position in Warsaw. So, and what county is that?
That's in Duplin County.
Duplin. Oh, that's in D.C.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Well, we wish you well in your endeavors in reference to that. And so we do want to make sure that we encourage everyone to don't you dare give up. And Jack had shared with us that sometimes, obstacles come, situations happen, but it is imperative that when you knew that was your gift.
Yeah, I didn't know at first. Mm-hmm. I knew after I really started into it, and my mentor at the time really started seeing different things I was doing, and I was really paying attention to him. Mm-hmm. I was really paying attention to what he did. And then he told me, he said, you really gonna be good at this. So, stay on your path that you're going. Mm. And he kept pushing me because I went to school first to be a funeral director. Oh. And he and another mortician pushed me to go ahead and be embalmer. And so, and that's what I really excelled in, the embalming part.
So you started out when we were at Mount Olive getting our degree.
Actually, I was already a mortician then.
You were already a mortician. You were just going to get your degree in business.
Business, yes. That's right.
So Jack and I did also, we went to high school together, and then we went to Mount Olive together.
Yeah.
And so at first, you didn't even know that was your gift. And I'm going to share this with you, and it is so funny to me. Jamie approached me about Respus Live, and I was like, me? Are you serious? I love to talk to people that I know, and people that I don't know. I'll smile and speak, but as far as conversing with them, I don't meet strangers, but I don't hold along. He was like, yes, I think you're gonna be good at this. And so he approached me about it, and I was like, I don't know. And so one day, the last time he approached me, I said, okay, Jamie, we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. So he and I met at Starbucks, and we started talking about it. And I said, what are your ideas? What do you see me doing? He says, I see this in you. So what is amazing to me, Jamie, and this is a segment, a series I'm doing, you have to see it before you see it. People see gifts in you before you see gifts in you, because your mentors saw that gift in you and they just pulled it out. Jamie saw this in me, and I don't know how in the world he did. And so once I started this, I was like, they were like, do you write questions down? I was like, no. Do you talk with your guests before? No. what do you talk about? I was like, God gives me something and we just run with it. So when you come in, I say, okay, Jack, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to run with it. And that's all we do. I don't do any prep or preparation or anything. And so you tap into your gift, something that you know you were born to do. It's not really difficult for you because you were interested.
That's
and
right.
then when you start doing it, because you say before you touch a body to embalm them, you pray.
That's right.
And then everything else just goes from there.
That's right. That's that. And I really when I tell you I let the Lord guide my hands, some situations I've seen is like, how in the world? And it happens right before your eyes. I mean, it just happens, But now how you felt like you didn't have the gift of talk now?
See,
now back in in high school, man, that's who we heard down the hallway sharing Respus. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
you in the Mickey Mouse Club, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we had a club in high school. We had it going on, Danielle, in high school. It was Sabrina. We're gonna give our shout out to the Mickey Mouse Club on tonight, and it was Della, Yvette, Samara, and myself. Am I missing anybody? Della.
That's all.
Okay, so we went and bought us some shirts from Super 10. $5. Had a Mickey Mouse on them. We had some blue ones and some red ones. So we said, okay, we're gonna be the Mickey Mouse Club, and we're still clubbing after 30 years.
And that's why I said y'all still the club after 30.
The club after 30 years.
It's still cool to see y'all on social media every night taking pictures with each other.
Yes, we still vacation together, and we're still the best of friends, and it is truly a blessing. Even though, you and I don't get along during football season, I can't stand you, and that is the truth, the whole truth.
Did you know the Cowboys lost yesterday? All right.
So the only reason why you guys are winning is because Cam, Sam, Fam, or whatever his name is, or is not playing.
He just needed a little rest.
Yeah, well, you just better hope he's out for the rest of the season, because if he ever come back, that's going to be it.
We still got backup.
Well, I'm glad y'all are finally winning. And like I said last night or the night before, you go ahead and buy your donuts and freeze them, because you don't never know when you're going to get a...
What down there on the night say? We like them fresh.
Oh, my gosh.
We ain't losing no more.
But Darnell and Edward and Tyrone, they gave me a fit on social media. My homeboys, I love them during football season. You got to be tough to be friends with Jack, Darnell, and Edward, Tyrone, McKnight, because they come at you strong. And so I woke up this morning, I had so much stuff on my page, because actually I went to sleep before the game went off. Because
you know you're going to lose.
No, it was not that. I needed my beauty rest, Jack. I had to get it in. I had to get my beauty rest, so I went to sleep before the game was over. I would have done that if we would have been winning. I have to get up early in the morning to go to work, so I need my rest. I woke up, I had all kinds of stuff on my page. Donnell, they just putting out APBs about me and stuff, like, where is Sharon there? She hiding. I don't hide.
You do the same thing.
I'm going to do the same thing.
You hit my page up every time.
I have to, Jack, because you know where to be found when y'all lose. It is amazing how you come out the woodwork. People, no, I have to be careful what I say. You come out the woodworks when you winning, but if you lose it, I can't find you on social media.
I'm working.
You work all the time.
I work all the time.
But if y'all losing, let me tell you something. If the Panthers lose, you cannot find Jack Hall. I don't know where he is. I be saying Mayday, Mayday. Somebody go get Jack. I'm about to send the police at you.
I let y'all say what I gotta say, and then I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah, all right. So on a serious note, in reference to your business, the Hawes Funeral Home out of Warsaw, a business that cares about the people and compassionate about what you do. So I definitely want to give a shout out to our viewers. If you're in the area, if you know someone, unfortunately, that has to deal with death, you want someone that's compassionate, someone that cares about you and your family. And although Jack and I cut up, I know his heart. And his wife heart, who is actually my cousin.
For real?
Your wife is my cousin, yes. She is, yes. And the both of you are caring and loving people. And it's that time when something happens that's extremely difficult, like death, that you need someone that's going to actually be there for you and your family. So I do recommend in that area that if you need someone during that difficult time, to definitely look up Jack Hawes and his beautiful wife, Tara, and the Hawes Funeral Home out of Warsaw. Now, I got a question for you. Do you want to go ahead?
And actually, I got a call a few weeks ago from somebody I hadn't talked to, and God knows when we said Della. Her sister Stephanie called. called me, and she was inquiring about something, and we were talking because she was relating to her cousin, saying, "Let me tell you something. If you want the truth, you talk to him. He's not gonna." He's not gonna go around the bush. He's not gonna go this way. He's gonna tell you the straight truth. And whatever he say, you might as well. And I appreciate that.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. That she let her family know that
you were the
straightforward.
Person. Yes, and she has a lot of family. Dale and Stephanie both have a lot of family in Duplin County. And Stephanie is actually my best friend.
What?
We've been best friends for years. We've been best friends for years. So I'm gonna ask you a question because I do have looks like Terrence. Terrence, thank you so much for joining. Terrence Walker has a question about insurance. Do you have like any insurance that for families at this time or?
Yeah, I encourage people to get insurance all the time. And I know sometimes it's with budgets and everything, it's hard to budget sometimes. But you have to budget some type of insurance because it's unfortunate that people rather pay $150 for a telephone a month and not even $25 to $40 for life insurance.
That's good, Jack.
And you got to understand that GoFundMe is not an insurance policy.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot depend on. Don't put that burden on your other family members. Come talk to somebody about getting some type of insurance. And young people, a lot of parents put insurance on their children, but young people, insurance is very cheap for you. Get
now is the time to get it.
Yeah. While you're young. Matter of fact, I encourage all parents, get insurance on your kids when they're 8, 9, 10 years old. It will stay with them forever. So just it's always important. It's sad when, a family is really trying their hardest to come up with the money.
That's true.
So, yes, we have different type of insurances for different type of people because everybody's not the same. Our age group is getting older. We're getting a little health. So, but, so it's things that still can work for you.
Yeah. Terrence is saying that we all have to die, and it's important for us to have insurance. But he says, tell the viewers, how can we get insurance? And then Thomas Harrell, who actually went to high school with us, asked, what is the average cost for funerals these days? Thank you guys for the questions. Please keep them coming. And Latasha Williams say, I got insurance. And we praise God for those that have insurance. Yes. So that was like 3 questions. Let's start with Tasha
got a good job.
Tasha. Jack said you got a good job. You ought to have some insurance up there in the air.
In the air.
So Thomas Harrell, our classmate, says, what is the average cost for a funeral these days?
I'll give you the national average. The national average is around about $8,300 to $8,500, believe it or not.
Wow.
But in different areas, that's not the medium. Like in my area, in Duplin County, the medium is probably more like $6,000 to $6,500. Because again, as I said before, you have to do your SWOT analysis. The median income is just different.
Exactly.
Yeah. And somewhere like Charlotte, I think that's where Thomas lives. So that hey, it's about anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 on average there, and that's still in the same state.
Right.
But it's just according really to where you live is how much the median is.
And so you can get insurance through your jobs, or you can actually go online and find companies that give you a policy. I would definitely read the policies and make sure they do exactly what they say they're going to do. Unfortunately, when my grandmother and them had policies, the guy would come by, the insurance man would come by, and they would pay their monies. And then after she passed, we realized she paid all that money and her insurance was not that much. So please make informed decisions before you get insurance and make sure that you're actually getting a policy that's going to be beneficial to you and your family.
And when you say that, a lot of those policies were called burial policies, and actually we can't sell those policies anymore because those policies were discriminatory.
Wow.
Yes, those policies were directed mainly towards minorities and poor people. And a lot of people paid money in. They paid way give you an example. One lady started one in 1952, I believe, and she had paid it all the way up until her husband died. That's been a few years ago, and that insurance policy only paid $300.
Oh my gosh!
And look how many years she was paying for it.
Yes.
So it's so burial insurance is not. It's just regular life insurance.
So you need life insurance, not
life insurance.
Burial insurance.
And always remember, insurance on your job is good, but it's considered term.
Right.
Meaning if you quit, it terminates.
Right.
Unless you're retired or something like that. So always get some insurance outside of your job.
That's good.
It can be a small policy outside of a job just in case. And always remember, you see these commercials say your insurance starts right then, day one. Yes, it may start day one, but it will not pay the full face amount. Most people have to live 2 years. So it's like, well, I just took this. Why is insurance not paying? We took it out a year ago. No, you got to live 2 years. So always remember that when you're looking for insurance to buy, you're entering into a contract. Read the entire thing.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah,
make an informed decision.
And every single year, do what we call preventive maintenance. Call your insurance company. Make sure everything is still the same.
That's it. No changes were made. Yes.
If insurance agencies approach you about buying insurance and you already got insurance, they're trying to convince you to close this one and open another one. Talk to somebody first outside that doesn't have any. Anybody can call me at any time. I give free advice on insurance.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. So for y'all out there listening, and thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for all the comments. Jack says that he actually will give you insurance mentoring, or either you can ask him for some advice, because it is good to know. We can't wait until someone passes before we find out whether they have insurance or not.
That's right.
And as you stated, GoFundMe is not an insurance policy.
Not an insurance
and that
policy.
is good, because unfortunately it happens to so many. I want to correct something. Natasha said she said that she got insurance on her son, not on herself. Lisa Hawes said that not only do you actually service the people of Warsaw, but you're able to go anywhere.
Yes.
So I don't want to limit your business to just one area. If you're in need for service, just give Jack a call, and you can always hit me up for his information, or follow him on Facebook. And
That's
it
right.
is Hawes Funeral Home.
My license is for all of North Carolina, so that I'll go anywhere in North Carolina. And we just about been.
Well, and that is good. That is good, because I was looking at a comment that Donnell was saying that you had gone down to pick up a body in, was it Georgia?
We done been to Georgia,
Yeah.
Virginia, New York. Yeah, we've been some everywhere.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of times my wife ride with me. That's my riding partner.
That is so good to have somebody. It's good to have a ride or die. I tell you, that is so good. I want to thank everybody for signing on. I see a lot of our classmates from the class of 1988 that signed on to see Jack and I on tonight. And it is good to see Jack in the business aspect, because most of the time when we're on Facebook, we're just arguing about football. But he is a very successful businessman that did not give up. Although the odds were stacked against him and he could have easily given up. He's just an example on tonight that when you see your visions and when you see it before you see it, you step out on faith. And even sometimes when you step out on faith, you may fall. But Jack is an example of how you get back up again. And we're so excited that he didn't let what happened stop him. He started operating his own business without a building. Now that is what I call awesomeness at its best, because you have a funeral home business without a building. He just lets us know that if it's your dream, if it's your vision, if you know that is what you were born to do, birth that vision, birth that dream. Don't you give up. Don't you let not having a building stop you. If you have to operate out of your house, you run your business out of your house until you get a building. If you got to come out the back of your car, I remember Kim, the R&B singer. I love Kim, K-E-M. He started selling records out of back of his trunk.
Right.
Until he became a recording artist. So you do what you have to do, but don't you dare give up on your dreams. If you know in your knower that this is what you were born to do, this is what you know God has called you to do, whatever you have to do, don't give up on your dreams. And again, Jack is just an example, he and his wife, of how they didn't give up. and now they run a successful business for over 19 years. That is amazing that you've been in business that long, and I am inclined to believe that your latter days shall be your better days, and that best is still yet to come. So tell us how to get in touch with you on social media, because you told all of our viewers that if they needed some advice or some information about insurance, please contact you. So tell us how to get in touch with you.
You can call me at 910-293-3535. That's our business phone. Or you can email us at hawesfuneralhome@gmail.com. You can also go to our website, www.hawesfuneralhome.com, and you can actually click on comments or questions and send us a question, and we can respond to it as well.
And please, I see at least 60 some viewers still watching us right now. Please, if your family member do not have insurance, don't hesitate to call Jack. I have 910-293-3535. 3535. Please don't hesitate to give him a call, because now is the time to get all your insurance and everything in place now before it happens, because you don't want to have someone else to assist you on that.
And what's so beautiful with some people is that they actually, especially to keep the burden off their children. I've had a lot of people that actually come in and sit down and talk with me and plan their whole service out, write it down, put it in the spot, and they tell their children, if something happens, go here. Yeah. It tells you everything that you need to do. And we also keep a record of that at the funeral home.
That is awesome.
So that helps out a lot with a lot of people.
Yeah, I actually did mine years ago, and Stephanie Thompson has all my information, my funeral, everything I want said, done, who I want to do it, and my insurance policies and everything, because I don't want Christina to have to deal with that. Yeah. With being devastated of my death, that she has to deal with that. So I've actually put all that in place. And you have to be prepared to die, just like we have to be prepared to live, because unfortunately we won't live forever. And so again, we thank Jack for coming.
That's not something we don't want to talk. That's something we don't want to talk about.
But we need to talk about it.
Yeah, we do need to talk about it.
We really need to talk about it, because unfortunately we are gonna leave here, and we want to make sure that I don't want to leave a burden on my baby when I leave. You know?
And I would like to say to the young people coming up, it's important that you learn your craft.
Oh, that's good, Jack.
It's very important. Even though you have a talent in it, it's very important that you learn it. Not just what someone tell you, learn it. A good pastor will always tell you, don't believe what I say, go read it for yourself. And that's the same thing with your craft. You learn your craft, so no one can tell you. You're always going to learn different things.
Exactly.
But when you know someone is not telling you the complete truth, you know it. You don't have to guess it. And always dress your part. I have a lot of young kids want to come and work for us, or young people want to come work for us. Social media is not a way to ask for a job. Go in there and see them. And when you go in there and see them, young fellas, pull your pants up, put on a nice shirt, and come see me. You know what I'm saying? And that first impression lasts a long time. Yeah, very first impression. I just got through at another engagement, and we was actually eating dinner, and I told the people sitting there that I like to take people to dinner when they ask me for a job, just to see how they eat, because the way they eat tells me a lot about them.
How about that?
Especially when we're seasoning your food. If you season your food before you taste it, that tells me you assume stuff and not look at the situation first. So always taste your food first, then season it to taste. And that's the same way you need to approach life in situations that come about in business. Yeah.
That is a good tip for all those young people that's out listening, and even us older people. We need to dress the part and make sure that we meet face to face and taste your food before you put salt on it. I don't know, Jack. I might be guilty of that a couple times, especially some grits or something.
No, you taste it first. Taste it first.
Yes, Denise said we got to dress the part. Nikita said that we have to have this conversation and this talk with our parents and our children.
That's right.
That's a good point, Nikita, because even though our parents are older, we still need to make sure they have all of their business straight.
That's right.
And if not, try to help them get it straight as soon as possible. So thank you, Nikita Stallings, for that. Nikita is also another classmate of ours. Class of 1988 is on live tonight. I am so glad. Antron, Anthony, thank you so much for signing on tonight. A&A Promotion actually did the intro, and it is fire. Thank you so much, Antron. I asked him to give me something with a little beat and a little funk, and it's FUNK, and he did just that, and I love it. I love me some Antron. Thank you so much for you and your company.
I get the pleasure of working with him every now and then.
Well, unfortunately, Antron, you have to work with Jack. I understand. I understand. Trust me when I tell you, we go way back, way back. And again, thank you. If you're interested in sponsoring Respus Live, please inbox us at Podcast South or shoot me an email or a text if you're interested in sponsoring Respus Live. You can contact us on Podcast South, or you can send me a message. We do have a new sponsor on tonight, Cumberland County Christian School out of Fayetteville, where James Respus and Dr. Jessica Respus are the owners of the private school. They have actually sponsored Respus Live, and I'm so grateful. We also want to thank Monica Hewitt and Making Memory Events and Design for sponsoring Respus Live. So we now have 2 sponsors, and I'm so excited. And I always have a gift for my guests, and it's no different because Jack is here. He gets a gift as well. Now, y'all know I don't care nothing about Jack, so you know his gift going to be a little different. So this is what I got for Jack tonight. He got a pink shirt with my picture on it, and I ain't thinking about him. This is what he get ready to wear right here. this right here is what Jack getting ready to wear. And so that's what Jack's got to wear, because I can't stand him doing football season. Hey, now, if he come back,
I wear pink.
If he comes back after football season, we may give him a regular shirt. But again, if you're interested in any of the shirts or paraphernalia or cups, hats, anything, just give us a shout out. We'll be happy to order those for you. But this is what Jack's walking away with. So when you see him with this on, give him a shout out. And the bottom says you have to see it before you see it. We have to see our visions first, and then we operate in them. And whatever you do, if you walk away from this broadcast on tonight, I want you to remember, don't you ever give up. Don't you dare give up. Don't you quit. Jack is a witness, he and his wife, of how quitting was not an option. And look at them now, how they're serving the people. They are servant leaders. And that is a beautiful thing, to be a servant leader. So again, we thank you so much for joining us. And our sponsors, A&A Promotion, Beauty by Drea is my makeup artist. I was just messing with you about that pink shirt. I was just messing with Jack about that pink shirt. Although you look cute with my picture on your face on the front. Pink. Yeah. A&A Promotion for our music. Beauty by Drea for my makeup. Again, Making Memory Events and Designs, and Cumberland County Christian School for our sponsors. And again, if you'd like to sponsor us, please inbox me. And thank each of you for signing on tonight. And you can actually reach Jack again at Jack Hawes on his Facebook page, or you can visit his funeral home page. And you look real cute with that pink on.
This is a medium. You know I'm a big boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big boy.
I told you that. That's for your wife. That's your shirt. I was just messing with you. I didn't want you walking around with a shirt with my picture on it. Okay, Charles Johnson says, I'm late to discussion, but you also need to discuss basic power of attorney and health plan and health power of attorney and preparation. So thank you, Charles Johnson, who's actually a homeboy of ours from Burgott. He's saying that it is important to discuss basic power of attorney and health power of attorney for preparation. So please talk with your family, talk with your parents, and see if they have basic power of attorney and health power of attorney along with insurance.
Yes. That's a issue. It's more of an issue for a lawyer. But always remember, a power of attorney dies when the person dies. So always remember that. If a person wants a certain person to take care of their business after they pass away, then they must do a healthcare power of attorney with a right to disposition. Okay. They must state how they want and who they want to take care of their final arrangements. Yes. And also that that needs to be signed in front of a notary and in front of two non-related witnesses, people not even friends, two complete strangers. So that's something, but it's always something good to ask an attorney about.
Yes, and we thank you all for your feedback and your interaction. And Terrence also says executor of estate. So we'll actually have someone, maybe I see Greg Williams has signed on. Maybe we can get Gregory to come.
My buddy.
Yes. Thank you for joining, Greg. Maybe we can get Gregory to come and talk about executor of estate and executor of estate, and then having the
perfect one.
Power of attorney. So Greg, please hit me up if you'd like to be on Respus Live, and we can talk about these issues, because we need to talk about them now. Now is the time for us to talk about if we have an executor of our estate, and if we need to discuss basic power and health power. So I would love to have you on. Thank you so much, Sabrina Key Moore. She says, my classmates are awesome. Shout out to Putnam High School class of 1988 for being on the show tonight and interacting with us. I see my girl Yvette Pridgeon has signed on, and Bryant, thank you so much. Thank each of you for signing on tonight. Thank you so much for signing on tonight. Again, may his peace be with you until we meet again. Thank you so much. Blessings. Thank you, Jack. You did an excellent job.
That's it.